Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, Happy New Year's 2024. Please show your support and prayers for me in the new year by leaving a dislike on this video. Last year around this time I got a ton of dislikes and I did okay this year. I mean, I talk a lot about burnout, but on the backdrop of all that burnout, I did accumulate 3 tons of bismuth. I maxed out my Roth IRA, and I got rid of a toxic job and I landed a dream job. Even though sometimes I complain it goes faster than I want it to go. Sometimes I make mistakes at my job because it goes a little bit faster than I want. But you know what? I still haven't gotten into serious trouble despite all the mistakes, right? And despite getting into near-miss car accidents and all that, despite getting my heart broken a number of times, I'm still here, right? So on the backdrop of all that burnout, there's been a lot of good stuff. And I think a lot of that I attribute to the fact that people are leaving me dislikes. I don't know why, but ever since I've been getting dislikes, I've been getting a lot of good luck. Let me talk about some... Let's forget the burnout for a second. Let's talk about some lucky events this year. I was working at a toxic job, and I lost the job just as I landed my dream job. And the way I lost that job is kind of interesting. What had happened was I was working at a tutoring center, and I had a 17-year-old student. He was starting his first job, I think at a pizza joint. And one day, I thought my boss had stepped away to run an errand or something. And I was talking, we were just wrapping up the class, and I was congratulating him on his new job, and I was telling him how not to be an asshole at his new job, basically. And I explained that how at the tutoring center I often get called last minute, and there's a little bit of prejudice because of differences in ways of life. And I told my student, you got to understand, not everybody loves the same way, right? Some people love another human being, other people love their bismuth art project, something like that. And unbeknownst to me, my boss was in the closet in the center, and he heard me. He got out, and the look on his face, I'll never forget that. Now, I think this was a Friday when this happened, because he was going to start his job on a Saturday. And we get our schedules on a Sunday. And when the schedule came on Sunday, it had all the wrong hours in it. I knew my boss basically wanted me to leave the job. And so I came in the next week, and I was a mess and all that. And then he didn't assign me any more work after that. And so I filed for, I had 2 more weeks until I started the job at Phoenix College. I filed for unemployment, and I actually got the unemployment. My boss was kind of hesitating on making a big scene out of it. And since it was only a few weeks, I guess he just didn't argue with it. And so that was kind of lucky. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have left that job. I really loved all of the students. You know, I guess my boss will have to do the explaining to all the students on why I'm no longer there. I try not to think about the fallout of that, because I can imagine at least half a dozen students want to know why I'm not there anymore. I can only imagine what my boss tried to tell these people. I try not to think about it because it's not a pretty scene, which is what made me stay at the job a lot longer than I needed to. I didn't know how to leave the students. I knew how to leave the boss. I didn't know how to leave the students. A lot of times I would just mentally leave the boss and just work with the students and ignore what my boss was trying to do. But the unfortunate incident kind of sealed the fate on that too. So that was kind of lucky. Now, unfortunately, I've also messed up in a couple regards at Phoenix College, in large part because of how burnt out I was. I was still reeling over how I had no control over my work and my previous job. And so I wanted to diversify a little bit when I started the job at Phoenix College. So I ramped up my art projects, and I took a job at Grand Canyon University as well. And I did a bunch of tutoring gigs that I found online. Unfortunately, it did make me feel a lot at ease, right, at Phoenix College. But unfortunately, it also added its own set of burdens, right? And but you know what? It was good. I at least people can understand burdens, right? Not too many people can understand, oh my God, toxicity at my job and all that. Now, one thing I'm really pleased about doing this week is that I was a little bit torn on how I should ask for the day off during the solar eclipse on April 10th of this year. And the reason I'm a little bit torn is I was talking to a friend of mine. She suggested just ask for the day off. Don't give an explanation. Now, if this were just I want any day off, yeah, that might work. But this is I actually need a very specific day off, right? How do I let it be known that this is not a negotiable day? At the same time, hide what I'm trying to do, right? But then it dawned on me that I had a colleague who wanted to take her daughter to go see the Eras concert, and she just said that we're going to go see the Eras concert, and so I decided, since she handled that very well, so I decided I'm just going to say I'm taking this day off to see the solar eclipse. So why don't we arrange somebody I can let them know what I'm doing? And by the way, I'm not taking any other time off this semester. So if there's anything else that I can fill in on, please let me know. And that went pretty well. So I'm pleased to see that. This past year, everybody's been crazy about the Eras concert. That's been like the password for getting time off work, right? Nobody questions that. It's just insane, right? I think I looked up worldwide, the amount of money people spent on going to the Eras concert was equal to all of the bismuth ever mined in human history. That's how crazy we went. Well, I don't know if is that a sign of we went too crazy over the Eras concert, or is that a sign that we're not crazy enough for bismuth? I'm actually not sure. I think a combination of both. No. Anyways, so amidst all that burnout, there have been a couple of good things. I learned to speak up for myself. I learned the importance of leaving a toxic job. I learned. I made a ton of art. I learned some negotiating with my clients, with the tutoring, and also with my art buyers. And I accumulated 3 tons of bismuth, and I maxed out my Roth IRA. So it's been a pretty lucky year. And thank you for leaving dislikes. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.